Hello, boys and girls. For day 2 of grammar, we are still focusing on what is a sentence. Let's go ahead and review our objectives, or what we plan on learning by the end of the week. We are learning to identify complete sentences, identify simple and complete subjects and predicates, use complete sentences in writing and speaking, use correct capitalization. Before we dive on into our lesson for today, who can remind me what simple and complete subjects encompass? That's right, it is who or what the sentence is all about. What about simple and complete predicates? That's right, it's what the subject does or is. Now, while we talked about simple and complete subjects and predicates yesterday, we did not talk about compound subjects or predicates. A sentence can sometimes have a compound subject or a compound predicate, or sometimes both. Let's take a look at what a compound subject is. The compound subject is made up of two or more subjects joined by a coordinating conjunction such as and or. So this just means that there might be two things or people that the sentence is all about. The compound predicate is made up of two or more predicates joined by a coordinating conjunction such as and or. So this just means that the subject might be doing two things or is two things. Here's my example. Opal and Winn-Dixie ran together. The two friends ran and played together. Let me bring up my thinking questions to see why I identified the compound subjects and compound predicates like this. Okay, so what are we going to ask ourselves? We're going to ask ourselves, how many subjects or predicates are there? Well, in the first sentence, Opal and Winn-Dixie ran together, I see that the sentence is all about two things or people. It's not just about Opal, and it's not just about Winn-Dixie, but it's about Opal and Winn-Dixie together. So the compound subject is the both of them. My next question is, what word is used to combine the compound subject or predicate? I see that the word and is used to combine Opal and Winn-Dixie. And in the second sentence, the two friends ran and played together, I see that there's two predicates. They did two things. They ran as well as played. And then I'm asking myself, what word is used to combine the compound subject or predicate? I see the coordinating conjunction and to describe both of these actions. So therefore, ran and played together is the compound predicate. Let's practice. We're going to identify the compound subject or the compound predicate. We're just going to ask ourselves, how many subjects do you see? How many predicates do you see? And what word is used to join them? Let's try this one. Opal saw the librarian and walked up to her. Are there two subjects, two things or people that this is all about? Or two predicates, two actions that the subject did? Pause right here and try and answer. That's right, there's two predicates. What Opal is doing is she saw and she walked. So saw the librarian and walked up to her is the compound predicate. You might have wanted to say compound subject because we see that Opal and a librarian is in the sentence. But remember, Opal is the one that's doing the action here. So therefore, there's only one subject about Opal, and the actions that she's doing is that she saw the librarian and that she walked up to her. It's two separate actions. Winn-Dixie and Miss Franny looked at each other. All right, guys, are there more than one subject or more than one predicate? Pause right here and take a guess. That's right. There's two subjects, two people that this whole sentence is all about. It's Winn-Dixie and Miss Franny. we can see that it's separated by the coordinating conjunction and they're both doing the same action. They're both looking. Let's try another. Miss Franny smiled and pet the dog. Okay, ask yourself, is there more than one subject, who or what the sentence is all about? Or is there more than one predicate, what that subject is doing or is? Pause right here and practice. That's right, Miss Franny is doing two actions here. So it's a compound predicate. She's smiling and petting the dog. We can see that it's joined by the coordinating conjunction and. Here's another example. Opal and her dog sat down to listen to a story. Ask yourself, compound subject, two or more things or people, or compound predicate, two or more actions. That's right. It's a compound subject. This sentence is all about not just Opal and not just her dog, but both of them. And we know that because the coordinating conjunction and is connecting both Opal and her dog. They happen to be doing the same action, which is sitting down to listen to a story. I know that you might have wanted to say compound predicate because we see sat down as an action and listen as an action. They're both verbs. But sat down and listen is separated by the word to. It is not joined together by a coordinating conjunction such as and or. If the sentence did say Opal and her dog sat down and listened to a story, then we would have a compound subject and a compound predicate. But because this word right here is not and or, this is just a complete predicate, not a compound predicate. All right, boys and girls, our next set of tasks is to read two sentences and rewrite them as one by either creating a compound subject or a compound predicate. Remember, we can use the conjunction, the coordinating conjunctions and or to help us out. But we first have to find if we're going to create a compound subject or a compound predicate. So take a look at how I'm going to do this pair of sentences. Opal loved to hear Miss Franny's stories. Winn-Dixie loved to hear Miss Franny's stories. I see here that Opal and Winn-Dixie are doing the same thing. So I can combine those two people or those two things to create a compound subject. Like so. Opal and Winn-Dixie love to hear Miss Franny's stories. Let's try another. Miss Franny walked to her chair. Miss Franny sat down. Well, I see here that Miss Franny is doing two actions, so I can combine them using and, the coordinating conjunction, to create a compound predicate like so. Miss Franny walked to her chair and sat down. You try the next one. The girl leaned forward to listen. The dog leaned forward to listen. Ask yourself, do you have more than one subject or more than one predicate? And how is that going to help you rewrite? Pause here and think about how the sentence would look rewritten using a compound subject or a compound predicate. That's right. The girl and the dog are doing the same action, so we can combine them for a compound subject to become the girl and dog leaned forward to listen. Can you try this next one? Miss Franny took a breath. Miss Franny began the tale. That's right. Miss Franny is doing two actions, so we can combine those two actions. Miss Franny took a breath and began the tale. The reason why we do this is to have stronger writing and stronger communication skills. Our writing or our speaking can become choppy if we break everything up into two sentences, when we can become more quick and to the point by combining subjects and combining predicates. It's your turn. On Google Classroom, you will see this worksheet here. It says Grammar correcting the fragments. Sentences tell a complete thought. Every sentence has a subject, the person or thing the sentence is about, and a predicate, what that person or thing is or does. Directions. If the statement below is a fragment, meaning not a complete sentence, correct it by adding a subject or a predicate. If the statement is already a sentence, check the box or type the letter S in the box. Bonus points, boys and girls, if you can add compound subjects and compound predicates, meaning more than one subject or more than one predicate. Show me what you know, boys and girls.